Drum roll, please. Brrr. We have another challenge build. This is brought to us by Geltza. Geltza asked us to make a stop hitting yourself build. A build where we purposely try and proc opportunity attacks from our enemies, and then basically when they hit us, they take way more damage than we take. So it's basically like we're trying to change their attacks into our attacks. Kind of interesting idea. Let's jump into it. Before starting the build, I just want to ask you guys a favor. Please go down and hit that subscribe button and help this channel grow into something really special. But with that out of the way, let's jump into the build. Starting off with our lineage, Shatter Kai really stands out here. Well, the idea is that we take a bunch of hits, and what Shatter Kai does is it allows us to make a Misty Step bonus action, but that Misty Step also gives us resistance to damage, so we can basically teleport into position where we can get opportunity attacked. The opportunity attacks do half the amount of damage to us, so we can take twice as many, and then of course using our spells and whatnot, we're going to brutally hurt them back. Shatter Kai is just cracked. It's a really powerful lineage and we're going to abuse it here. Alternatively, you could do something like Goliath, who can use its reaction to reduce damage, and that would work well as well. But Shatter Kai comes with dark vision, so I'm going to go ahead and lean towards it. As for our leveling structure, what we're going to do is we're going to be going into Armorer Artificer. This is going to incentivize people to attack us because they're going to have disadvantage on attacking everybody else once we get our Guardian armor going. Then we're going to be going into Celestial Warlock for the rest of our levels. So 3 levels into armor, then 17 into Celestial Warlock. This is going to give us a ton of sustain and is going to give us the resources we need for the stop hitting yourself function to work. So what kind of stats do we need to make this work? Our main stat is going to be intelligence. That's because our attacks are going to be based off our intelligence, and we really want to be landing our attacks as often as possible. From there, we're going to have constitution. We're going to be taking a lot of hits, so we want to make sure that our concentration checks save, as well as just having more HP in general. Then from there we have charisma. This is going to help us multi-class into warlock, and is going to help our warlock spells, though we're not going to focus on warlock spells that really require charisma, so this being at 14 would be just fine. Anything extra we're going to put into our wisdom to try and help out our poor wisdom saves. Getting into the level by level breakdown, level 1 is going to be a bit of a weak level for us. We have decent intelligence, so we're probably going to be just casting a cantrip from afar like Firebolt, and then just avoiding combat for the most part, and just playing it safe. Level 2, we do get infusions. These infusions should be pretty straightforward for us. We're going to want an enhanced weapon and enhanced defense. Enhanced weapon helps us get that very important single attack off where we're debuffing an enemy, and then the +1 in defense, people are going to be attacking us all the time, and they're either going to be taking a bunch of damage or we're going to be protecting ourselves. And because we're incentivizing people to attack us, that +1 AC is going to be used more often because we're going to be attacked more often, so it's a very effective +1 AC. Level 3, we become the armor. This is going to allow us to don that Guardian armor, which is going to give us Thunder Gauntlets. It's going to be a D8 of damage, and once we hit them, they're going to have disadvantage on attacking anyone besides us. That's really crucial. We're going to mix that with Booming Blade. So as we hit people and move past them and proc their opportunity attacks, they then have a choice to move. If they're a melee character, they need to move to attack someone. They're going to take that Booming Blade damage. Or if they're a ranged creature, we can stay near them, and then if they move to try and get a ranged attack off, they're going to take that Booming Blade damage and an opportunity attack from us. Level 4, moving into Warlock, we're going into Celestial Warlock. Celestial Warlock is going to be big for us because it gives us Healing Light. Healing Light, every time we gain a level in Warlock, we're going to get an extra D6 to the pool of Healing Lights, which we then can use to heal ourselves. So we can take a ton of damage over time and just burst heal it basically all back at once. So our tanking sustain, our personal sustain, is going to be fantastic. And we're also getting our most important spell for this build is Armor of Agathis. Armor of Agathis is the best stop hitting yourself spell in the entire game. You don't know how it works, it gives us a pool of temporary HP, 5 per spell level. And then if someone melee hits us, it's going to deal that same amount of damage back. So if we do a second level spell, we're going to get 10 temporary HP. If someone hits us, they're taking 10 damage if it's in melee. But what's cool is if any of that temporary HP remains and we get hit again, it procs again. So if we're running past people and getting opportunity attacked, we're going to be taking a single attack and it's going to blow up in their face, and that just gets better and better. Every 2 levels we get in Warlock is another 5 HP on top of each of our Armor of Agathis. I wouldn't be surprised to be casting Armor of Agathis basically with every single spell slot we have. We're incentivizing people to attack us, we're punishing them for attacking us, and then it also gives us the sustain to keep doing it again and again. With level 2, we get Invocations. Invocations are fantastic, and whatever we're going to be taking, know that we're going to be switching one of them out for a 3rd level invocation, but we'll get to that in a second. As for the one I'm going to be keeping, we have some options. Eldritch Mind is going to make our concentration really fantastic if we have have a concentration spell we're focusing on, which we will later, but it's less important now. I actually think Fiendish Vigor really stands out here to me. And that's because Fiendish Vigor is going to give us 8 temporary HP between every single combat. So we know we're starting each combat with 8 temporary HP. Now, I know what you're saying at this point. We have Armor of Agathis, and then we have the Guardian Armor's extra temporary HP, and then we have Fiendish Vigor. That's a bunch of temporary HP sources, right? Well, keep in mind that 2 of those are limited in nature, and 1 of them is not. Fiendish Vigor is going to give us 8 temporary HP guaranteed between every combat. Some combats we're not even going to want to cast Armor of Agathis because maybe there's no melee enemies, maybe we're not being targeted super specifically. There's going to be reasons not to cast it, and so we just leave our 8 temporary HP on and go ham. Additionally, we're not going to be going first every single turn. Some turns we're going to be attacked before we even have a turn to set up, and Fiendish Vigor buffers that damage for us to then set up Armor of Agathis later. As for the bonus action temporary HP from Armorer Artificer, it's only 3 temporary HP, so we only use that one when we're out of temporary HP. We have nothing else to do with our bonus action, so we might as well buffer our HP a little bit. We don't rely on it, it's just a cherry on top. Now at 6th level, or Warlock 3, we're going to be taking Pact of the Chain. This is not only going to give us a fantastic scout, it's going to allow us to pick up Gift of the Ever-Living Ones. What this does is if our familiar is within 100 feet of us, it allows us to automatically roll the maximum whenever we are personally getting healed. Now we combine this with our Celestial Warlock Healing Light, and that means for every Warlock level we have, we get 6 extra HP throughout the day. So when we level up in Warlock, we're rolling a d8 with our con, right? And then we have to add 6 to that because we're also getting a Healing Light die that we're going to probably be using on ourselves with 100% efficiency. So instead of getting an average amount of HP of around 8, 5 for the dice, 3 for Constitution maybe, we have to add 6 to that. So instead of 8, we're getting something like 14. We're nearly doubling our effective health points by going into this Healing Light Warlock style. Even though it doesn't show on our character sheet, we can just bonus action heal that amount, so we have a lot of burst heal. So in between our plethora of temporary HP, crazy amount of burst heal, our bonus action from being a Shatter Kai that reduces all of our damage in half, we are extremely tanky. Then we mix that with Armorer Artificer's ability to make people target us, and we are going to be tanking for our whole team. Our health pool is going to be effective for everyone. Now we mix that with focusing on Armor of Agathis and continually moving past enemies. We find the biggest, baddest Mamba Jumbo, we run up and we Booming Blade them, right? So now they're Booming Blade procced, they have to attack us or they're attacking at disadvantage. Then we just move past them. They want to hit us? Great. They just took a bunch of Armor of Agathis damage. Now on their turn, if they're melee, they're going to have to chase someone down to kill them, right? Well, if they attack our allies, they're attacked at disadvantage. They move towards us to attack us. They're going to take Booming Blade damage, and then once they hit us, it's going to be the Armor of Agathis damage once again. So we're changing our tanky playstyle and enabling it to do tons of damage, so we become this hybrid between a tank and a striker. And I think that's really, really neat, and basically the porcupine idea of the more opportunity attacks you guys make against us, it's basically the more attacks we're getting. I love the idea of there being a turn for this character where they move their 30 feet, take a bunch of opportunity attacks, Armor of Agathis everyone who opportunity attacked them, then they cast Armor of Agathis again, restoring it to do it again next turn. And this is the core idea of this build. Now, of course, as we level up, we're going to continue going into Warlock, which is going to continue giving us a huge pool of Healing Light, but we're also going to get amazing Warlock spells as we go, and becoming just a better spellcaster over time, but the core idea remains the same. Where we hit kind of our peak of this core idea, not the peak of the character, but the peak of the core idea, is once we mix Shadow of Moil with Armor of Agathis. Now, Shadow of Moil, take with a grain of salt, because it's going to make every attack against us have disadvantage, which means once we proc our Thunder Gauntlets, they're going to have disadvantage attacking everyone, which means they might as well not attack us. So it incentivizes them to attack us less. However, once it's on there, we will be attacked at disadvantage every single attack, and when we're hit anyways, they're going to be taking 2d8 of damage on top of the Armor of Agathis if we have that going for us as well. Additionally, it's going to give us advantage on our attacks, so we're going to be proccing our Thunder Gauntlets even more often. So it's a powerful spell in your arsenal. Just keep in mind that sometimes you might want to take hits, and it'll be best not to cast Shadow of Moil in those cases. Overall, I think a really unique playstyle, a really fun build, but how would you guys build your stop hitting yourself build? And while you're at it, leave us a challenge build. We love to take on these challenges and do really unique D&D builds. While you're down there leaving the challenge, you might as well hit the subscribe button as well. It really helps us grow and see this channel grow into something special. All right, with that, my friends, hope you have yourselves an incredible day, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.